When we kicked off the reunion, Tom walks in last, and this guy looks completely defeated. He looks like his life has just come to an end.
Yeah, and he starts to cry, and everybody just calls him out. I mean, what a wild. And we have to remember that this was months ago, right? When they filmed a couple of 6-7 weeks ago. So, oh man, he hadn't even shaved his mustache off yet at this point. And yeah, they're just not going to let him get a word in. They got him on the ropes, and they're not going to stop swinging. It was hilarious to watch.
Like when he starts saying, he's like, I just want to thank everyone for being here. And they're all like, you shut up.
Yeah,
Boo.
shut up. It's so funny. I mean, I couldn't imagine the type of therapy the sound guy must need after listening to all of this, because he's just in the corner like, make it stop. What I love about Tom Sandoval as a reality TV star villain is he's okay calling other people out, even though this is happening to him. And it was kind of funny when Andy Cohen mentioned, like, you basically have all cheated. Now, of course, there's different severities to that all, but he's got a point, like, they're all having their rounds, but they're all flawed in their own way.
Which is funny, because if you see this, like, even the way that James is popping off in this first part of the reunion, he's like, just to give you context, like a little backstory here. When Tom first started the show, he had a girlfriend named Kristen that he was in a relationship with for 5 years. James started bussing tables at SUR, and James kept telling everybody, I'm going to get on the show. So his way of getting on the show was he saw that Tom and Kristen were having issues. He was making music with Tom, and then he started sleeping with Kristen in Tom's bed. So Tom's kind of like, I was in a relationship for 5 years. You did this to me. And James is like, but the difference is I was 21. I'm not 42. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting the way that we're reasoning this.
Yeah, and by the way, what an amazing American dream story to come over from England, start as a busboy. Now he's on a reality TV. I mean, this is literally the modern way of making it in the U.S. Yeah, I mean, he's got a point that the ages are different, but it's also like, not much of a point. It's not like he's some classy guy, but you can give him the point on that he was young and dumb. But hey, that's karma doesn't care about your age. It's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, and then I was also shocked when there were multiple times, like Ariana, especially when they showed the extended version, she's like, don't even look at this. You don't deserve to fucking look at this. And I'm like, she hasn't even begun. She's she's holding her composure and she's waiting. She's just sitting there. You could tell she's processing all of the words that are coming out. And she's like, I'm going to make sure not only that I eviscerate you, but I'm going to look damn good doing it.
And she sure did. I mean, glow up both physically and spiritually. I'll tell you what, though, I would absolutely have been Schwartz in this situation where he goes, he tries to start it all off and say, look, no one's saying Sandoval was in the right. He was in the wrong. Absolutely. But we're going to discuss it because it's therapy. And everyone goes, oh, this isn't therapy. And he's like, well, I mean, it's kind of the closest thing to group therapy they have. And I agreed with Schwartz there that I would have been the one as the Titanic's going down, trying to play the violin like order. But that wasn't, I can respect his, like, I don't know if it's like a middle child personality there, but I can respect him being like, no one's saying he did it. No one's trying to make excuses for him, but let's just hear him out. And everyone's like, shut up, Schwartz, you suck too. And he's like,
yes. Right. They're like, you both twiddle D and twiddle little dick. It's like, what?
And he's so funny when he whispers. He's like, which one am I? Like, he's so funny with that commentary. What a combo.
Even Lala too, though. Lala was interjecting, and Andy was asking, do you see similarities in the living situation? Because when this all first happened, Ariana was at the house and all of her friends were rallying around her. And Tom Sandoval was getting pissed off because he kept walking into his house with all of her friends there. And they were giving him like these dirty looks and they were making him feel unwelcome in his own home. So he would come in and flip out and be like, everybody needs to get the f- out of my house. Well, Malala was asked about this and she said, this kind of hits home to me because me personally, when I was in the situation, Rando was always gone. And then the moment that I didn't want to be in the situation anymore, it was like I could not get him to leave the house. So she goes on to call Sandoval a narcissist and says he's incredibly dangerous. And this is where Lisa Vanderpump interjected.
Yeah, and I would probably side with Lisa Although I do think I do think Sandoval's obviously got problematic behavior, but does that mean he's dangerous? And how are we defining danger? Is he a physical danger to somebody? I don't believe so. Could he mess someone's heart up? Yeah. And if that's what you want to say is dangerous, but would I compare him to Randall? I mean, it's a stretch. Randall was using his position of power to, coerce people into having sex with him and this and that. You could argue everybody uses their position of power, but Sandoval doesn't have anything to offer other than some fame for dating a reality guy. But that's already like, I don't know if that's him using his power over others. I think there's a difference between an F-boy cheater and what Randall did, and it's a tough leap to make.
Well, I agree with that. I agree that they're not on the same level, but I think a lot of people felt like Tom Sandoval had the ability to use his rank on the show to manipulate Raquel. But I think that goes both ways too, because I feel like she also saw him as like one of the top dogs on the show, and she was like, "Hey, if I'm with him, well, that kind of makes me a prominent position." She's
not an intern. He's not the president. It's more, yeah, he had a top position on the show but she was a willing participant. And I think she's getting treated as such. I think she's getting treated as like, hey, you're the home wrecker. And he's also as guilty in his own way. And no one's like skirting who's innocent here. They're both guilty. And, I think exposing someone for like their fraudulent behavior and their manipulation is great. I just think it's like there are severities to crimes. Sandoval did not commit a crime here, and I believe Randall is being looked at for crimes, or at least Sandoval was messy. It was wrong, and everyone can feel hurt about that because no one wants to be led astray and no one wants to have their heart crushed and ripped out like this. It's a product of, he should have broken up with her, dealt with the heat from that, but because he kicked the can down the road, it's way worse. And that's all it is.
That's all it is. Donna Gunter said, how great was the look on Tom's face when he heard that Katie and Ariana have made $200,000 selling There's Something About Her merch, which, holy shit.
I love capitalism. And I love when reality stars can milk whatever they're milking. I was going to try to go to her Raising Cane drive-through thing, but it's in El Segundo. It would have been an hour drive during my rush hour of work. But I love it. It's like cash it all in. There's going to be a small percentage, 10% of your audience is going to be like, oh, she's just trying to make money off of it. Cash it in. Just monetize it.
Cash all of it in.
Yeah, take it to the bank. And anybody who doesn't do that doesn't understand. Her heart is broken and she's going to have to piece it all together. Might as well cover a year's mortgage.
Yeah. And I mean, with the price of these shirts, like, honestly, their stuff is not really bad priced.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have merch in today's world, and to have something, it's kind of like if you know how it works. If someone commits an injustice in a video and it goes viral, or like say some teacher gets punched by a student, and then you find the teacher's Venmo, and then everyone donates 10 grand to the teacher. Good. It's victimless. It's great to see. If Ariana can make $1 million out of this, cool. If she does something, if she crosses the line and starts doing something that hurts the mental health of Raquel or whatever, then you could look at her in a certain way. But right now it's like, no, she got broken up with, she got cheated on, all these things. And good for her. Take all the commercials. Corporations are jumping onto it because everybody loves a story like this. It's the first thing that's united our country since in a long time.
Scandival. Thanks, Scandival.